Now, each of the men arrested is facing trafficking and distribution charges. A woman says a moving company
identified the victim. The gunman took off before officers arrived.
Noonan and Atlanta police tracked a 15-year-old armed robbery suspect down to a bedroom hiding underneath the covers.
Investigators say he had a fully loaded AR pistol under the blankets with him. Fox 5's Doug Evans tells us what else officers found.
There's not much we can tell you about this 15-year-old because he is a juvenile, but wait till you hear about his arrest at a home in Atlanta this past week. The Noonan Police Department Drug and Vice Unit, along with Atlanta Police, were investigating an armed robbery that happened in Noonan back in April. They believed a 15-year-old was one of two juveniles responsible, and they say they found that kid hiding in a bedroom in Atlanta with the covers pulled over him. Here's what police said they also found in that bed with the teen.
They knew going in that he was in there based on what the woman told them, and they actually found him hiding in a bedroom under covers on a bed with an AR pistol fully loaded with the safety off under the blankets.
They say the kid's finger was on the trigger of the AR pistol. They say they later found two more handguns in the bed, including one that was stolen during that armed robbery here last April. They say they found two rifles also under the bed. They say all of these guns were in that same bedroom. Many of them were stolen, some from Noonan, Atlanta, Carrollton. In all, more than 10 firearms were seized at that house, along with some extended magazines, double drum magazines for rifles, at least one handgun that they say was modified so it could fire continuously, much like a fully automatic. And so for this armed robbery that happened here in April, Noonan police have now arrested two juveniles, one 14-year-old that was arrested shortly after the crime, and now this 15-year-old arrested this past week. I'm Doug Evans, Fox 5 News in Noonan.
It took place. Gia Mullins' nerves are still shaken, like many around her after someone shot up her neighbor's home May 5th. Fox 5 first told you about the incident where a family was inside celebrating a birthday when gunfire erupted outside, sending bullets inside the home. People don't really like to come out in a lit up area to commit a crime. They want to cover it up. They want to hide. Those living in the DeKalb neighborhood off of River Road believe street lamps could deter crime. Studies on installations like in Chicago show it reduced crimes like murder, robbery, and aggravated assault by 36%. LED streetlights cut burglaries and other property crimes by 18% in Detroit. But who is responsible? DeKalb County officials sent us this statement saying, quote, DeKalb County does not maintain or install streetlights. We've learned Georgia Power is in charge, but the cost burden falls on those who live in the community. It's not that many on this street, so everybody don't have the funds to actually pay out of pocket. In a statement, Georgia Power officials directed us to a website and said, quote, the site has a design a light tool, light fixture options, case studies with photos, and more. In addition, after entering a request, Georgia Power's lighting experts can work to help address specific lighting needs. Mullen says many in the area just simply can't afford it and wants DeKalb leaders to model former Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms' 2021 Light the Night campaign, where the city funded 10,000 streetlights to nearly 100 Atlanta neighborhoods to crack down on crime. Our motions of our own lights on our houses, and some people have their porch lights on as well, but it's not bright enough to stop the crimes from going on. In its statement, Georgia Power says streetlights can also help with visibility for drivers, also pedestrians and cyclists. We have all the information on streetlights and what you need to do to get it in your neighborhood on our website, fox5atlanta.com.
Chief Operating Officer for the Secretary of State's office says the decision to delay the voting machine software updates was done with security in mind.
The presidential preference primary is March 12th, which means that 49 days before that, we have to get the overseas, the UOCAVA military ballots out the door. So that's in December. When balancing the risks, we will always look to improve security, and that is a very important thing. But we can't take the risk with the system itself going into the 2024 election cycle, and that's why the decision was made. It's the responsible, sober decision to make.
On Wednesday, a newly released report by University of Michigan professor J. Alex Halderman says Georgia's system has critical vulnerabilities that put votes at risk, laying out several possible scenarios, but another by the group MITRE found it's not likely those scenarios would occur.
In order for the attacks that are outlined here to actually work, it would take thousands of people going to hundreds of locations, doing actions over a long period of time, and no one noticing. In the real world, these things can't happen because we have logic and accuracy testing. We have audits. We have post-election reviews to make sure that the software is the same software it was before.
Halderman called MITRE's analysis wrong because it assumes, quote, safe and controlled access, citing an alleged incident in Coffee County in 2021 where a team hired by supporters of former President Donald Trump assessed voting equipment. But Sterling says the systems are secure.
The equipment in question in Coffee County has been taken out of service. We're reviewing that as part of the court case. We do processes, procedures, and train on security all the time.
We've posted links to both of the full reports on our website, fox5atlanta.com. At the live desk, Kim Luffler, Fox 5 News. A family who recently moved to Colorado Springs from Noonan has a live look tonight at the White House. On this Thursday evening, developing, President Biden is going after those hidden fees you pay on everything from concerts to hotel rooms, what he calls junk fees. Even if you don't know what they are, you've most likely paid them. Those surprise surcharges added on top of a list price just before a purchase. Well, today, the president hosted a group of executives who promised to include such fees in the total cost up front. Fox's Caroline Shively reports from Washington.
If you've been to a concert, taken a plane, or checked into a hotel, you've paid them junk fees, those hidden add-ons that don't show up in the initial ticket price but can send the final price tag soaring.
American companies are, in a word, addicted to junk fees.
On Thursday, President Biden met with the heads of major ticket sellers and venues about those costs.
They can add hundreds of dollars a month and make it harder for families to pay their bills.
Ticketmaster, Live Nation, and SeatGeek have all promised to make it easier for consumers to determine an all-in price. Airbnb has already introduced a tool that lets customers see included fees before taxes.
This is real transparency, which leads to more competition, brings down costs for working Americans, keeps growing our economy.
Congress is also considering legislation that would eliminate surprise resort fees, early termination fees by TV, internet, and phone companies, and excessive online concert fees.
It's precisely the kind of abuse that frustrates Americans to no end, and which the federal government can address.
The General Accounting Office found in 2018 when you go to a ball game or a concert, on average, fees account for more than a quarter of the total ticket price. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.